There are few subjects that shock and fascinate people as much as the link between Aghoris and cannibalism. Outsiders see it as savagery, as darkness, as something unspeakable. But those who understand the ancient roots of Aghor know that even the most terrifying act has a divine logic behind it. Tonight, we are going to lift that veil and see what this practice truly means within Sanatan Dharma and the path of Aghor. To understand Aghori and cannibalism, one must first understand the foundation of Aghor itself. The word Aghor means that which is not terrible. It comes from the Sanskrit root gora, meaning fearsome or terrible, and the prefix a, meaning without. So Aghor literally means the state beyond fear, beyond disgust, beyond duality. The Aghori sees no difference between what is considered pure and what is impure, between the temple and the cremation ground, between food and flesh, between life and death. In the Sanatan view, everything that exists, the air, the body, the ash, the corpse, is nothing but Shiva. The Aghori path seeks to experience this truth not through philosophy alone, but through direct realization. They walk into the very places society forbids, smashans, cremation grounds, sites of death, and meditate there to dissolve the illusion of duality. For them, to reject anything is to reject the divine itself. Now, when it comes to cannibalism, what most people don't know is that true Aghoris do not eat human flesh out of desire, hunger, or madness. They do it as part of a highly restricted, symbolic ritual that represents the ultimate transcendence of human conditioning. When an Aghori consumes the flesh of a dead body, usually only once under the guidance of a guru, he is performing an act that shatters every boundary of aversion that binds the ordinary mind. In this moment, he is saying to existence, nothing is separate from me, even death is me, even decay is divine. This act, which to the human eye appears monstrous, is in fact an intense spiritual confrontation with Maya, the illusion that divides sacred and profane. The Aghori confronts the most forbidden aspect of nature, not to indulge in it, but to dissolve the self that judges it. In most cases, the ritual involves a very specific moment, when a corpse is discovered floating in the Ganga or brought for cremation. The Aghori waits for a sign, a call from within, and only then takes a minute symbolic portion, often as a gesture rather than a meal. He prays to Mahakali or Bhairava, chanting mantras that sanctify the act as an offering, not consumption. Afterwards, he meditates for hours or days to absorb the experience and internalize the truth of oneness. This is not a routine practice. In fact, most Aghoris never engage in it at all. It is a deeply private and mystical rite, performed rarely and never for spectacle. The ones who shout about it in front of cameras or tourists are not the real seekers. The true Aghori lives in silence, hidden among ashes and solitude, far removed from public gaze. To understand why such a ritual exists, we must see the larger framework of Sanatan Dharma. Hindu philosophy recognizes that spiritual evolution can take multiple paths, some through devotion, some through knowledge, some through renunciation, and some through extreme confrontation. The Aghori belongs to this last category. His journey is about dissolving the ego by facing everything that causes fear or disgust. Eating human flesh, for him, is not about the act. It is about the breaking of limitation. The human mind builds walls. This is sacred, that is unholy. This is pure, that is impure. The Aghori tears down these walls to realize the truth that all is Brahman. When he sits by a corpse, he is not meditating on death. He is meditating on the continuity of existence. The body perishes, but the essence, the soul, remains eternal. In many tantric texts like the Aghori Tantra and Kaula Janana Nirnaya, it is mentioned that cremation ground sadhana is the most direct route to liberation for those who are prepared. It is not a path of imitation, but initiation. One must be chosen, guided, and purified before attempting it. Without this preparation, such practices can destroy the mind. In truth, The Aghori path is not about rejecting society, but about transcending its illusions. When the Aghori takes ashes of the dead and smears them on his body, he is reminding himself of impermanence, that all beauty, all wealth, all attachments end in this same ash. When he confronts the corpse, he is looking directly into the face of his own mortality. When he consumes a piece of that which was once alive, he declares that even death cannot touch him, for he has already merged with Shiva, the lord of both creation and destruction. People mistake the Aghori for dark magicians or practitioners of black arts, but in truth, their magic is of light. They burn away the illusions that others worship. Where others fear ghosts, they see liberated souls. Where others fear death, they see transformation. To the Aghori, the corpse is not a thing to be feared. It is a temple of truth. The flesh that once laughed, cried, and loved now returns to the 5 elements. The Aghori witnesses this return without fear. When he takes part in this final offering, he is participating in nature's cycle, not violating it. In a sense, the act of symbolic cannibalism becomes a ritual of communion with the cosmos. The body of man is made of the same elements as the stars: earth, water, fire, air, and space. By consuming a fragment of it in sanctified awareness, the Aghori declares that the universe and the body are one. But the modern mind, clouded by duality, sees only horror. That is why the path of Aghor is secret, veiled, hidden from those who cannot yet see beyond appearances. The Guru reveals these truths only to disciples who have dissolved the ego, who have mastered silence, and who no longer chase the pleasures or fears of the world. The next time you hear someone say that Aghoris are cannibals, remember this: they are not eating flesh, they are consuming illusion. They are devouring the boundaries that separate human from divine, living from dead, sacred from profane. They are walking on a path that few can even imagine, one that leads beyond fear itself. Because to be Aghori is to realize that everything, from the breath of a newborn to the ash of the dead, is Shiva manifest. Nothing exists outside that truth. So, if you've reached this far in the video, understand this. The path of Aghor is not for imitation, but for understanding. It teaches us that the divine is not found only in light, but also in shadow. When you can look into the darkness without fear, you begin to see what the Aghoris see, that there is no darkness at all, only the infinite play of consciousness. If this knowledge stirred something within you, if it made you think beyond the ordinary limits of religion and fear, then share your thoughts in the comments below. Tell me, what does death mean to you now? And if you wish to continue walking this path of hidden wisdom, subscribe to the Aghori Code and become part of this journey through the mysteries of Sanatan Dharma and the truth beyond illusion.